The encounter. The sun was setting over the busy city, casting a warm glow on the tall buildings. People hurried along the streets, lost in their own worlds, but Alex wasn't focused on them. He was deep in thought, studying strange signals from space. As a scientist, he had always been curious about the universe and what lay beyond Earth. Suddenly, a commotion caught his attention. A crowd of people gathered around something unusual. Curious, Alex moved closer, weaving through the throngs of people. His heart raced as he finally got a clear view. A girl unlike any he had ever seen stood there, her skin shimmering with vibrant colors. She had large, expressive eyes and long, flowing hair that seemed to sparkle in the fading light. But there was fear in her eyes, and Alex realized she was in trouble. Around her, a group of rough-looking hunters shouted and waved their weapons. They wanted her, and she was clearly terrified. Alex's heart ached for her. Without thinking, he stepped forward, his instincts kicking in. "Hey, leave her alone," he shouted, trying to sound brave. The hunters turned to him, surprised. One of them laughed mockingly. "And what will you do about it, human?" he sneered, taking a step closer to Lyra, the alien girl. As they advanced, Alex felt a surge of adrenaline. He couldn't let them take her. "Get away from her," he yelled again, his voice stronger now. In that moment, Lyra looked at him, her eyes filled with hope and fear. He realized that she was alone and needed help. Suddenly, the crowd gasped as Lyra did something extraordinary. With a quick movement of her hands, she created a shimmering barrier around herself. The hunters stumbled back, shocked. Alex felt a rush of admiration for her bravery. He took this chance to rush to her side. "Come with me," he urged, grabbing her hand. They ran together through the streets, dodging people and obstacles. The city lights blurred around them as they escaped the chaos behind. Lyra's grip was strong, and Alex felt a connection forming between them, a bond forged in fear and urgency. They found a quiet alleyway where they could catch their breath. Lyra leaned against the wall, her chest heaving as she looked at Alex. "Why did you help me?" she asked, her voice trembling. Alex shrugged, trying to act casual. "I couldn't just stand there and do nothing. You looked like you needed help." But deep down, he knew it was more than that. There was something captivating about her, something that pulled him in. Lyra smiled faintly, her fear slowly fading. "Thank you. I thought I was alone." Her words hung in the air, filled with meaning. In that moment, Alex realized they were both outcasts in their own worlds. As they stood there, breathing heavily, the sounds of the city faded into the background. Alex glanced at Lyra, her alien beauty shining in the dim light. He felt a spark of hope. Perhaps they could find a way to protect each other. "I'll keep you safe," Alex promised, determination filling his voice. Lyra nodded, and for the first time since their encounter, a sense of calm washed over them. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of an incredible journey that would change both their lives forever. Understanding each other. The alley where Alex and Lyra took refuge was dimly lit, but it felt like a world away from the danger they had just escaped. As they leaned against the cool, brick wall, they began to take in their surroundings. Trash cans lined the sides of the alley, and the distant sounds of the city buzzed softly. But for now, they felt safe. "Do you think they followed us?" Lyra asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Her large eyes darted around, scanning the shadows. Alex shook his head. "I don't think so. We got away pretty fast. But we need to keep moving." He took a deep breath, trying to calm the fluttering in his chest. He realized that he had not just saved her. They were now in this together. As they walked further into the alley, Alex felt the need to know more about her. "So, where are you from?" he asked, trying to break the silence. He was genuinely curious. He had always wanted to learn about alien cultures, and now he had a chance. Lyra hesitated, her expression turning serious. "I am from a planet called Zephyria," she said slowly. "It is very different from Earth. The sky is always bright, and there are colors everywhere. My people are connected to nature in ways you cannot imagine." Alex listened closely, fascinated. "What do you mean, connected to nature?" She took a moment to gather her thoughts. "We communicate with plants and animals. We understand their feelings. On my planet, harmony is very important." Lyra's eyes sparkled with passion as she spoke, and Alex could see how much she loved her home. "That sounds beautiful," Alex replied. "But what happened? Why were those hunters after you?" Lyra's face darkened, and she looked away. "My people are being hunted. The hunters want to capture us for our abilities. They think we are a threat, because we can do things they cannot." Her voice trembled with emotion. "I was sent to Earth to find help, but I didn't think I would end up running for my life." Alex's heart ached for her. "I'm sorry. That sounds horrible. But I'll help you," he promised again, feeling more determined than ever. "We'll find a way to keep you safe." Lyra looked at him, her expression softening. "Why do you care so much about me? I'm just a stranger." Alex scratched the back of his head, searching for the right words. "I don't know. Maybe it's because I can see how brave you are. You're fighting for your people. I respect that." He paused, feeling a warmth spread through him. "And I feel a connection to you. It's hard to explain." Lyra smiled, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "I feel it too," she admitted softly. "You saved me, and now I feel safe with you. I've never met a human like you before." As they talked, a sense of understanding began to grow between them. They shared stories about their worlds. Alex told Lyra about Earth's technology and its wonders, while she described the magic of Zephyria. Each story brought them closer, weaving their lives together like threads in a tapestry. "Maybe we can find a way to help each other," Lyra suggested, her voice filled with hope. "If you can help me understand Earth better, I can teach you more about my people." Alex grinned. "Deal. But first, let's find a safe place to stay. We need to figure out a plan." Together, they stepped out of the alley, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them. They knew the road ahead would be difficult, but with their growing bond, they felt stronger. For the first time, they believed that perhaps, just perhaps, they could change their destinies together. The chase. As they emerged from the alley, the city felt alive around them. The sounds of traffic and chatter filled the air, but Alex and Lyra couldn't afford to relax. They knew that danger was still lurking. The hunters wouldn't give up easily, and their encounter was far from over. "Where should we go?" Lyra asked, glancing nervously at the bustling streets. She was still shaken by the events that had unfolded, and Alex could see the fear in her eyes. "Let's head to my lab," Alex suggested, his mind racing with ideas. "It's nearby, and we can figure out a plan there." He took Lyra's hand, leading her through the crowd. People moved around them, unaware of the extraordinary situation unfolding just steps away. As they hurried down the sidewalk, Alex kept looking over his shoulder. He felt a knot of worry tightening in his stomach. Just as they turned a corner, he heard loud voices shouting behind them. "There they are," a rough voice yelled. Alex's heart raced. He turned to see the hunters charging towards them, anger written all over their faces. "Run," he shouted, pulling Lyra along as they sprinted down the street. The city that had once felt so vibrant now felt like a maze, each turn an obstacle. Lyra's long legs kept pace with Alex's, and together they dodged pedestrians and street vendors. Alex could feel the adrenaline coursing through his veins. They were in a race against time. "Turn left," Lyra yelled, and without questioning her, Alex followed her lead. They slipped into a narrow side street, the sounds of the city fading slightly behind them. But the hunters were relentless. As they ran, Lyra suddenly stopped and faced Alex. "I can help us," she said, determination shining in her eyes. Just trust me." Before he could respond, Lyra raised her hands, and a faint glow surrounded them. Alex watched in awe as the air shimmered, creating a visual distortion around them. It was as if they had vanished from sight. "Wow!" Alex exclaimed, impressed. "That's amazing. Now, we need to keep moving," Lyra urged, her voice serious. They resumed their escape, carefully navigating through the twists and turns of the alleyways. Alex felt both amazed and grateful for her powers. They might just save their lives. But as they ran deeper into the maze, the hunters were still closing in. Alex could hear their shouts echoing through the streets. "They went this way. Don't let them escape." Lyra glanced back, her expression tense. "We need to find a better hiding spot," she said urgently. "They'll see us if we stay out here too long." Finally, they spotted a small door leading to an abandoned building. Alex pushed it open, and they slipped inside, closing it quietly behind them. Inside, it was dark and dusty, with broken furniture scattered around. "We can hide here for now," Alex whispered, catching his breath. Lyra nodded, her eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger. They crouched behind a large table, hearts pounding. The sounds of footsteps echoed outside, growing louder. "Where did they go?" one of the hunters asked, frustration creeping into his voice. Alex held his breath, praying they wouldn't find them. Lyra took his hand, squeezing it gently. In that moment, he felt a rush of warmth and courage. They were in this together, and he would protect her at all costs. The footsteps stopped right outside the door, and Alex felt the tension rise. The hunters were searching the area, and it felt like time stood still. They listened as the hunters whispered to each other, trying to piece together where they might have gone. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the hunters moved on, their voices fading into the distance. Alex and Lyra slowly exhaled, relief washing over them. "We made it," Alex said, smiling at Lyra. "But we can't stay here for long. We need a plan." Lyra nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "Together, we can figure this out." They both knew that their journey was far from over, but for now, they had each other, and that gave them strength. Allies and enemies. As the last echoes of the hunters faded into the distance, Alex and Lyra took a moment to catch their breath in the abandoned building. The dim light filtered through the broken windows, casting shadows on the walls. Alex could see the worry etched on Lyra's face, and he knew they needed to act fast. "We can't stay here for long," Alex said, breaking the silence. "We need to find allies, people who can help us." Lyra nodded, her eyes brightening at the idea. "You're right, but where do we find them? Not everyone will want to help an alien." Alex thought for a moment. "I know a group of activists who care about alien rights. They might be able to help us. They're always fighting against the hunters and the way they treat beings from other worlds." "Let's go then," Lyra said, determination sparking in her voice. "I trust you, Alex." With a renewed sense of purpose, they left the abandoned building and stepped into the streets once again. This time, Alex led the way, navigating through the maze of alleyways and side streets he knew so well. The city felt different now. Every shadow seemed to hide a threat, but with Lyra by his side, he felt stronger. After several twists and turns, they arrived at a small, inconspicuous building tucked away between larger structures. A faded sign above the door read, "The Coalition for Alien Rights." It looked old but welcoming. "This is it," Alex said, glancing at Lyra. "I hope they're here." He pushed open the door, and they stepped inside. The space was cozy, filled with posters advocating for alien rights and peaceful coexistence. A group of people sat at a table in the corner, deep in discussion. Alex recognized some of them, and relief washed over him. "Hey, Alex," one of the activists, a woman named Maya, looked up and waved them over. "What are you doing here? You look like you've seen a ghost." Alex quickly introduced Lyra. "This is Lyra. She's in trouble, and we need your help." Maya's eyes widened as she took in Lyra's alien features. "Wow, a real alien," she exclaimed. "What happened?" As Alex explained their situation, he noticed the reactions around the table. Some listened with concern, while others exchanged skeptical glances. When he finished, a tall man named Jack spoke up. "This is risky, Alex. We don't know if we can trust her." "Trust me," Lyra interjected, her voice firm. "I am not your enemy. I'm here because my people need help. The hunters are after us." Maya stepped forward. "We have to help her. We can't let the hunters win. We're fighting for freedom and equality for all beings." Jack frowned but remained silent. The tension in the room was palpable. Alex could feel the weight of the decision resting on everyone's shoulders. Finally, another activist named Sarah spoke. "How can we help? What do you need?" Lyra looked at each of them, her heart pounding. "I need to contact my people. I have information that could save us all. But first, we must protect ourselves from the hunters." Maya nodded. "We can set up a safe house. We have contacts who can help spread the word, but we need to act quickly." Just then, the door swung open and a loud voice filled the room. "There you are. We know you're here, Alex." The hunters had found them. Alex's heart raced as he turned to Lyra, panic rising. "We have to get out of here," he shouted. The activists quickly jumped into action, grabbing Lyra and Alex as they raced toward the back exit. "Follow us," Maya urged, leading the way. They burst through the back door just as the hunters stormed in, their voices echoing in the room. The group dashed into a narrow alley, the sounds of pursuit hot on their heels. As they ran, Alex glanced at Lyra. They had allies now, but they also had enemies closing in. The chase was not over, and they had to rely on each other more than ever to survive. An unexpected bond. The group sprinted through the maze of alleyways, heartbeats pounding in their ears as the hunters shouted behind them. Alex felt the urgency of the moment, but amid the chaos, he couldn't help but glance at Lyra. She was running beside him, her eyes wide with determination and fear, yet there was a strength about her that fascinated him. They finally reached a small park at the edge of the city, where tall trees provided a brief shelter. The activists quickly gathered around, panting heavily. Maya turned to the group, her voice steady. "We need to regroup and come up with a plan." Alex and Lyra stepped to the side, away from the others. As they caught their breath, Alex looked into Lyra's eyes. "Are you okay?" he asked, concern etched on his face. "I'm fine," Lyra replied, though her voice was a little shaky. "I'm just scared." She glanced back at the group, then back at Alex. "I didn't expect to be in this situation. I thought coming to Earth would be different." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of empathy and admiration. "You're brave for facing all this. You could have easily hidden away, but you chose to fight." Lyra smiled faintly, her eyes softening. "It's easy to be brave when you have someone to stand with you." The words hung between them, creating a fragile bond that began to form in the midst of uncertainty. They had come together through danger, and now they were two souls fighting against the odds. As the group discussed their next move, Alex and Lyra stayed close, their hands brushing against each other as they leaned in to listen. The closeness felt natural, comforting. In a world where everything seemed chaotic, they found solace in each other. After a few minutes, Maya turned to the group. "We need to find a way to get Lyra to safety. We can't keep running forever." "Maybe we can use the underground tunnels," suggested Jack. "They're a network of safe routes beneath the city. We can get her to the outskirts without being seen." Lyra looked at them, surprised. "Tunnels? I didn't know you had those here." "They're mostly for emergencies," Maya explained, "but they can help us in this situation." Alex felt a surge of hope. "Let's do it," he said. "It could buy us some time." As they made their way toward the entrance to the tunnels, Alex and Lyra walked side by side. "Thank you for trusting me," she said quietly, her gaze fixed ahead. "I know this is dangerous for you." Alex shrugged. "It's not just about me. It's about all of us now. We're in this together." Lyra looked up at him, her expression shifting. "You've become my friend in a very short time," she said softly. "I didn't expect to feel so connected to someone so quickly." "Me neither," Alex admitted, his heart racing at her words. "But I think it's because we understand each other. We both have something to fight for." Just then, a loud crash echoed in the distance, followed by angry shouts. The hunters were closer than they had anticipated. Panic washed over the group as they hurried into the entrance of the tunnel. The tunnels were dark and cool, a stark contrast to the chaos above. As they moved deeper into the darkness, Lyra took Alex's hand. It felt right, a gesture of trust and support. "I'll protect you," Alex said, his voice steady despite the uncertainty surrounding them. "And I'll use my powers to help us escape," Lyra replied, her grip tightening around his hand. In that moment, they both understood that their bond had grown deeper than mere survival. They were now partners in a fight that would test their strength, courage, and feelings for each other. Together, they would face whatever lay ahead, knowing that they were not alone. Cultural clash. As Alex, Lyra, and the group of activists moved through the dark, damp tunnels, the air was thick with tension. The faint sound of dripping water echoed around them, and the only light came from small flashlights held by the group. Despite the urgency of their escape, Alex felt a strange comfort in Lyra's presence beside him. Their hands remained intertwined, a silent promise of support. After a few twists and turns, they finally reached a small room in the tunnels. It was a safe spot to catch their breath and plan their next move. The walls were damp, and the air smelled musty, but it felt like a sanctuary compared to the chaos above. "Let's take a moment," Maya said, placing her flashlight on the ground to illuminate the space. "We need to discuss our next steps." The group gathered in a circle, their expressions serious. Alex turned to Lyra, who was taking in her surroundings with wide eyes. "Are you okay?" he asked, noticing her tense posture. "I am just surprised," she replied softly. "This place is so different from what I am used to." "What do you mean?" Alex asked, genuinely curious. Lyra took a deep breath. "In Zephyria, we live in harmony with nature. Our homes are built among the trees, and we never hide underground. We connect with the world around us, and our cities are filled with light and life." Alex listened intently. "That sounds beautiful. But what's so different about being here in the tunnels?" She looked around, her expression thoughtful. "Here, everything feels closed off. It's dark and damp, and I sense fear in the air. My people do not hide from each other. We share everything openly. But here, it feels like everyone is scared." Maya jumped in. "I get what you're saying, Lyra. But sometimes, in our world, we have to hide to survive. It's not just about fear. It's about protecting what we love." Lyra nodded slowly, trying to understand. "But hiding from each other can create more fear. If we are not honest and open, how can we trust one another?" Alex felt the tension rising. "It's complicated, Lyra. Humans have been fighting for so long. Trust is hard to build when you're always worried about being attacked, but I think we can learn from each other." Lyra turned to Alex, her eyes shining with curiosity. "What do you mean? You have this deep connection to nature and to your people. Maybe we can show humans how to be more open and trusting," Alex suggested, "and we can learn to protect each other without fear." Jack, who had been listening quietly, chimed in. "That's a good point. But it's not easy to change how people think overnight. It takes time and effort." "Maybe we can start with our group," Maya said. "We can show Lyra the best of humanity and let her teach us about her ways. We can create a bridge between our worlds." Lyra smiled, her eyes lighting up. "I would love that. I want to share my culture with all of you. We have songs, dances, and stories that celebrate life. We believe in unity and understanding. Perhaps we can find common ground." As they spoke, Alex watched Lyra grow more animated. Her passion was infectious, and he felt a wave of hope wash over him. Maybe they could break down these cultural walls together. But just as the conversation began to flow, a distant sound interrupted them, a faint echo of footsteps approaching. The hunters had found the entrance to the tunnels. Panic surged through the group. "Quick, we need to move," Maya shouted, her voice urgent. "We can't let them find us here." The group sprang into action, quickly gathering their things. Lyra squeezed Alex's hand, her eyes wide with fear, but there was also a glimmer of determination. They were about to face their biggest challenge yet, but together they would confront the clash of their worlds, one step at a time. The tension in the tunnel grew as the distant sound of footsteps drew closer. Alex felt his heart race. The hunters were coming, and they had no time to lose. "We need to get out of here now," he urged, glancing around at the group. Maya quickly led the way, navigating through the dark tunnels. "There's an exit not far from here," she said, her voice steady despite the urgency. "We can make it if we stay quiet." Lyra squeezed Alex's hand tightly as they moved deeper into the shadows. The air felt thick with anxiety, and Alex couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. What if they were caught? What would happen to Lyra? As they hurried along, the echoes of the hunters' voices grew louder. "They can't have gone far. Split up and search the tunnels," one of the hunters shouted, his tone filled with frustration. Alex exchanged worried glances with Lyra and the others. They were running out of time. "We have to hurry," he whispered urgently, pushing forward. Just as they rounded a corner, they came to a small room filled with old crates and barrels. "This might work as a hiding place," Maya suggested, pointing to the dark corners. "We can wait until they pass." The group quickly squeezed into the cramped space, holding their breath as they listened to the footsteps approach. The hunters' voices echoed louder, their angry shouts filling the tunnel. "I swear I saw them go this way," one of the hunters barked. "They can't have disappeared into thin air." Alex could feel Lyra's grip on his hand tighten. He turned to her, trying to convey calmness. "We'll be okay. Just stay quiet," he whispered softly. Inside the cramped space, the air grew stale, and Alex could see the tension etched on everyone's faces. Lyra's eyes darted around, her breathing quickening. "I wish I could do something," she murmured, her voice barely a whisper. "You're already doing something by being here," Alex replied, trying to reassure her. "Just stay with me." Moments felt like hours as they waited, the hunters growing closer. Suddenly, one of the hunters shouted, "They must be hiding in here. Check every corner." Panic surged through the group as Alex realized they would be discovered. Just as the hunters entered the room, Alex felt a surge of energy coming from Lyra. "Stay back," she suddenly called out, her voice echoing with power. To everyone's surprise, a bright light surrounded Lyra, illuminating the small room. The hunters halted, startled by the sudden glow. "What the?" one of them gasped, taking a step back. Lyra stood tall, her eyes fierce. "You will not take me," she declared, the light intensifying around her. Alex could hardly believe what he was witnessing. Lyra was not just scared, she was ready to fight back. The hunters exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what to do. "What kind of trick is this?" one of them demanded, his bravado wavering. But Lyra did not back down. "I am not your prey. I will fight for my freedom and for those I care about." Maya seized the moment. "Now, move," she shouted, and the group burst out of their hiding spot. They pushed past the stunned hunters, rushing toward the exit. Lyra's light pulsed around them, providing a shield as they ran. Alex felt a mix of fear and excitement. They were escaping, but he could see the hunters regaining their composure. It wouldn't let them go easily. "Keep running," Maya shouted, leading the way through the twisting tunnels. The sound of angry shouts followed them, echoing behind like a haunting reminder of the threat they faced. As they neared the exit, Lyra turned to Alex, determination shining in her eyes. "I won't let them take me. I'll fight for us." He nodded, feeling inspired by her courage. "Together, we can do this," he promised, squeezing her hand tighter. With one last burst of energy, they burst through the exit and into the night, the cool air hitting their faces like a refreshing wave. But as they looked around, they knew they weren't safe yet. The hunters were still on their trail, and the real fight for their freedom had just begun. The decision. As they burst out of the tunnel and into the cool night air, Alex felt a rush of freedom. But the exhilaration was short-lived. The reality of their situation hit him hard. The hunters were still pursuing them, and they had no clear plan on where to go next. "Over there," Maya shouted, pointing to a nearby building. "We can hide in that warehouse until we figure things out." The group rushed toward the warehouse, their hearts pounding in rhythm with their hurried footsteps. The structure loomed ahead, dark and uninviting, but it was their best option. As they entered, the scent of old wood and rusted metal filled the air, mingling with the sound of distant machinery. Inside, they quickly found a shadowy corner to crouch down. The group huddled together, whispering urgently. "We need to decide what to do next," Maya said, her voice barely above a whisper. "We can't keep running forever." Alex looked around at the worried faces of his friends, and then turned to Lyra. She looked deep in thought, her brow furrowed. "What do you think?" he asked gently. "We need your perspective." Lyra took a deep breath, her eyes shining with determination. "We can't let the hunters keep coming after us. I came to Earth to find help, but it seems I've put all of you in danger." Her voice trembled slightly, but her resolve was strong. "I can't let that happen. Maybe I should go back to Zephyria alone and warn my people." "What?" Alex exclaimed, startled by her suggestion. "No, that's too dangerous. You can't go back alone. Think about it," Lyra continued, her tone steady. "If I return, I can rally my people. They have powers that can fight the hunters. But if I stay here, I will only bring more danger to you and your friends." "But we're stronger together," Maya argued, frustration creeping into her voice. "We've made it this far. We can find a way to fight back." Jack, who had been quiet until now, chimed in. "Lyra has a point. If she can get help from her people, it might turn the tide in our favor. But we can't just let you go alone." "I'm not sure I want to let her go either," Alex admitted, feeling torn. "But I also don't want to put everyone at risk." Lyra's gaze softened as she looked at Alex. "You've shown me kindness and bravery, but I cannot put your lives on the line for my people. If I can save them, it will be worth it." The group fell silent, the weight of Lyra's words settling heavily in the air. Alex felt a surge of frustration and helplessness. He wanted to protect her, but he also understood her reasoning. They were all in danger, and time was running out. "What if we don't split up?" Maya proposed. "We can find a way to help Lyra reach her people together. If we can create a diversion, we might buy her enough time to make it back safely." Lyra's eyes lit up at the idea. "That could work, but it will be dangerous. The hunters won't let me leave without a fight." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of fear and determination. "I'll go with you. I won't let you face this alone. We can create the diversion together." The others looked at Alex, surprised by his boldness. "You're serious?" Jack asked, his brow furrowed. "Absolutely," Alex replied firmly. "We'll do this as a team. We have to try. Lyra deserves a chance to save her people, and I want to help." Maya nodded, her expression softening. "All right then, let's plan this out. We'll give you cover while you make your way back. But we need to move quickly." As they began to discuss their plan, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew the risk was high, but Lyra's bravery inspired him. They were standing on the edge of something big, an opportunity to unite their worlds against a common threat. Together, they would fight for freedom and forge a bond that would change everything. It was time to act, and they would do it together, no matter the cost. A new beginning. The night air was cool and crisp as Alex, Lyra, and the activists prepared for their daring plan. They stood huddled together in the dim light of the warehouse, their hearts racing with anticipation. This was the moment they had been working toward, a chance to turn the tide and create a new beginning for both humans and Lyra's people. "Remember, stay close and be ready," Maya said, her voice steady and firm. "We'll create the distraction at the main entrance, and that's when Lyra can slip away. Alex, you'll be with her." Lyra looked at Alex, a mix of fear and determination in her eyes. "Are you sure about this?" she asked softly. "What if something goes wrong?" "We'll figure it out together," Alex reassured her, squeezing her hand. "You deserve a chance to go back and help your people. I won't let you do this alone." As they moved into position, Alex felt a sense of purpose wash over him. They were not just fighting for Lyra. They were fighting for a future where different worlds could understand and support each other. This was about unity, and he felt proud to stand by Lyra's side. The activists spread out, hiding behind crates and barrels, ready to create the diversion. Maya was the first to act. She stepped into the open, raising her hands to draw the hunters' attention. "Hey, over here," she shouted, her voice echoing in the night. The hunters turned, startled by her sudden appearance. "What's going on?" One of them barked, confusion evident on their faces. "Don't let her escape," another shouted, charging toward Maya. At that moment, Lyra and Alex made their move. They slipped out from their hiding spot and darted toward the rear exit of the warehouse. The adrenaline surged through Alex as they raced against time. Behind them, the sounds of shouting and chaos filled the air. As they reached the back door, Lyra paused, looking back at Alex. "We have to hurry," she urged, her eyes wide with urgency. "I know," he replied, trying to keep his breathing steady. "Let's go." They pushed through the door and stepped outside into the open night. The stars shone brightly above, a stark contrast to the danger they were escaping. They sprinted down a narrow path, Lyra leading the way, her alien abilities guiding them through the darkness. Suddenly, Alex heard footsteps behind them, echoing through the night. The hunters were gaining ground. "They're coming," he shouted, glancing back in panic. Lyra responded instinctively. "Hold on." She raised her hands, and a wave of shimmering light enveloped them, creating a protective barrier. The glow pushed the hunters back, but it wouldn't hold for long. "Keep moving," Alex urged, adrenaline pumping through his veins. They dashed down the path, hearts racing as they neared the outskirts of the city. "Just a little further," Lyra shouted, determination fueling her every step. Alex felt the weight of their mission. The future of both their worlds hung in the balance. As they reached the edge of the city, Lyra stopped. "We're almost there," she said, pointing to a hill in the distance. "That's where I can reach my people. I can feel them calling to me." "Then let's not waste any time," Alex replied, his voice filled with resolve. They climbed the hill together, pushing themselves to move faster. Once they reached the top, Lyra closed her eyes, focusing on the connection she had with her people. "I can do this," she whispered, her voice steady. Alex watched her, a mix of pride and fear swelling in his chest. He knew this was their moment, the turning point that could change everything. As Lyra opened her eyes, a bright light enveloped her. The glow expanded, illuminating the area around them. In that moment, Alex felt an overwhelming sense of hope. The bond they had created would not only guide Lyra back to her people, but also forge a new path for their worlds. "Thank you, Alex," Lyra said, her voice filled with emotion. "You've given me strength. I won't forget this." He smiled, feeling warmth spread through him. "Neither will I." This is just the beginning for both of us. With one final surge of energy, Lyra sent out a signal to her people, a call for help and unity. The light shot into the sky, a beacon of hope and connection. Together, they had sparked something beautiful, a new beginning that held the promise of a future where different worlds could stand together in peace. As the light faded into the night, Alex felt a sense of fulfillment. They had faced danger and fear, but now, they were ready to embrace whatever came next, hand in hand.